find, as you often do, three young cads and idiots going about together and getting drunk together every day, you generally find that one of the three cads and idiots is, for some extraordinary reason, not a cad and not an idiot.
With my own little personal experience with Warhammer 40k and watching Pilgrim's Pass's video about how 40k is anti-progressive, I kind of want to give him my 2 cents of what I kind of wanted Warhammer 40k to be, or at least what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. Because a lot of people say that people who object to 40k just want a progressive Warhammer. But I don't know how many I speak for. That's at least not the case with me. Now, I as a Catholic have heard a lot of positive things about 40k by my fellow Catholics. And personally, while I understand them, I think we should be careful of how far we take that, because there are some things in it that I have objections to. And one of them involves the Emperor of Mankind himself and his original beliefs, and not just the current state of his ideology. The Emperor during his direct reign had this idealized humanity that ruled the galaxy, submitted other species to their will, all under an atheistic regime where mankind was its own god and its own destiny. And to me, that just sounds not so good. I mean, this guy literally wanted to destroy churches. This guy is not an ally of Christ, and I really wish my fellow Catholics would stop pretending that he was. I mean, I'm not saying all of them, I'm sure some are that conscious, but there's some who just seem to conveniently leave that part out. Like, his original imperial truth is there is no gods, man is basically God, man can decide what is good and evil, and they will be held accountable to themselves when they do anything wrong, and they themselves answer to no one, and everyone else answers to them. And history shows that does not end well. You could call it whatever you want, and I can already hear people imitating the Emperor in character goes, "We are not gods, and I am not a god. We do not use such superstitious language." Yeah, you could call whatever you want, but that's what it basically is. And with the current Imperium, it's just elevated to a mystified, neo-pagan version. Like, mankind is the master race, and the Emperor Mankind is the embodiment of that, which just seems too eerily similar to, you know, a certain imperial cult-like ideology in Germany that took root after World War I. It's just, to me, nothing but a rehash of that ideology.
And I'm tired of pretending it's not.
Now, I want to be fair, and I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and assume the reason why this is because the current writers have no idea how to write the Imperium of Man, or the Emperor for that matter. And Fritz Imperial had made a far more interesting reimagining of the Emperor of Mankind and the Imperium, which makes the Imperial truth far more appetizing, and the link to his video is in the description below. Now, the Eldar are pretty much the same, just they have an actual pantheon of gods to justify their whole, we are the master race. So it's pretty much the same thing. They're like pompous and snooty and sanctimonious, so it's like not too dissimilar. And Tau are pretty much kind of like samurai space commies. Sure, they want to unify species, but they want to do that by brainwashing everyone and make everyone unified under their nebulous greater good, which is measured by a priest class that really doesn't believe in any god. So, like, that unity rings hollow, and it abolishes countless of aesthetics to replace with this boxy utilitarian aesthetic, which is just ugh.
Shut it!
I mean, there's things I do like about these three factions, like their designs are kind of cool, and I do love the Space Marine chunky blocky armor. I'm into that kind of aesthetic. And they are relatively, compared to everyone else, more good, but they should know better. which I guess tracks because that adds to the tragedy of this universe. But I'm pretty sure people are asking, well, why didn't you just go watch Star Wars? Why can't people who are complaining about 40k go watch Star Wars?
Not that simple, Larry. It's not that simple.
Star Wars doesn't have space elves. Star Wars doesn't have space demons. Star Wars doesn't have space church. Star Wars doesn't have space theism. Star Wars doesn't have chunky armored epic super soldiers. I mean, we had clone troopers, but like, that may not just hit all the right notes for some people.
I got pages of these, I could go on.
Now, my solution isn't to change Warhammer 40k, but rather we can use that to make it its own thing, because there is a potential audience from that, at least from where I'm standing. And there are already pre-existing franchises who tamper around with the concepts of Warhammer 40k. And what this potential audience wants, among other things, is basically Tolkien's Legendarium, but in space! And what I have in mind has been heavily inspired by what I wanted Warhammer 40k to be, as combined with elements of Narnia and Tolkien's Legendarium, as well as of recently the Ransom trilogy, with clear lines of good and evil. The three big good guys being decopunk humans of a monarchist United States, steampunk Art Nouveau elves who are basically like the British Empire if it was founded by the Celts, and Russian moth people with a ray gun gothic aesthetic complete with UFOs and flying saucers, complete with a big G god and space angels and demons, and an evil force that broke off from said good guys as an evil demonic fascist group that trades in all of its aesthetics for one hideous, brutalistic, fascistic aesthetic. But yeah, that's my 2 cents, and hopefully this answers some of the people questioning about the objections to Warhammer 40k, and I will get to work on that concept of mine somewhere in the future, but I hope you enjoyed this video of my 2 cents of Warhammer 40k and why people might not like it but still want it to change, as well as provide an alternative solution to that. Thanks for listening, and please like, comment, and subscribe if you're up to it.